Okay, we got a question from Weston. And Weston probably is in a situation that many of us find ourselves in. He says this: what advice would you give someone who struggles listening to their mind over their body? I have a tendency to listen to my mind instead of my body when it comes to working out. This usually causes me to overdo it with training and forces me to take a step back to reevaluate my structure. I am early 30s and I find that I am constantly battling my ailments with my body while my mind is telling me to push more and more with my workouts. I go back and forth in my mind, wonder if I'm lacking recovery or I should listen to my body and hit the brakes. That's what I want to address. As a follow-up, I used to be very fit and could do multiple pull-ups, but over the years I have lost the ability to do more than one or two sloppy pull-ups. My body weight, and this is important, listen to this, has not changed during this time. Could this be related to pushing myself too hard for too long? So, love or hate Covert Bailey's books, Fit or Fat from the 70s and I guess early 80s. The one thing I did like about him is he always talked about this guy who weighed 170 in college, and 25 years later he still weighs 170, and he brags that he's never changed body weight. But in his collegiate 170, he had barnyard wide shoulders, and he had plates of pectorals and 8-pack abs, and now he's got a pooch belly, but he weighs the same. Well, what's happening on the inside is that his muscles over time have atrophied and have been replaced very happily by the body with fat. So on the scale, he weighs the same amount, but his body composition is radically different. And Weston, I'm wondering if that's what's happening to you. So what can happen with overtraining for some people, because you're not, you're burning the candle at both ends, is that you do begin to, it's weird to think that you can train yourself into obesity, but it can happen because if you're constantly overtrained, one of the things we do to placate our, what's going on here? We got to get some food in this, is to shovel more cheap carbs down or whatever it is. One thing I would recommend to you and every listener is I'd like to see you organize your recovery plan. The great Canadian sprint coach Charlie Francis, who went away too young, the thing I pulled away from the workshop most from him was how rigorously planned the recovery sessions. Now, right next to me here, I have my sauna. So most mornings I sauna and I do mobility to start my day. That's kind of my I'm trying to recover from a lot of things. 3 days a week now, I have organized mobility days, and I try to sprinkle them on the days after I train hard. I train hard now as I'm speaking, Sunday night and Thursday night. So the next days, in both cases, I try to do extra mobility work, extra original strength work, I do these kind of weird march in place and skips and stuff like that. Someone said it was plyos one time. I looked at it. Those aren't plyometrics. It's me doing cross crawls on the street. I would like to see you plan a recovery program. I think planning proper recovery, it can be hot baths, it can be just cold showers if that's all you have. It can be dedicated foam rolling, and if you don't have a foam roller, dedicated lacrosse ball or golf ball rolling or whatever it is, or just like me, just general mobility work. I got to tell you folks, I have underappreciated a good soak in a hot bath for years. I started doing this again recently, and for one thing, you get great reading in a hot bath. Calgon, take me away. But I would really like to know what you're overdoing it on. You've said that in the thing, but I'd like to know. I don't get a lot of texts from people saying, every single day I just can't. I put my body weight on the squat bar, and I do 50 to 100 reps in one set every day. I'm doing that 4 days a week and I think I'm overtraining. I don't ever hear those. I think what a lot of people do is garbage junk volume in their training, and that not only does it hurt their performance, but I also think it really starts to dig in to your ability to recover. And we are all held back by our ability to recover. And I've learned, like many coaches, the great Tommy Cohn, one of his books right there, it's better to come in a little bit undertrained than it is to come in at all overtrained. And so, Weston, I want you to get your journals out, look at your workouts, look to see what you can eliminate from your program. Oh, and there's another thing. What program are you on? What does your coach say? What does your trainer say? What are the fitness professionals you work with saying? Because if you don't have a program, you don't have a coach, a trainer, a community of some kind to help support you, then you're just doing more work. Get yourself into a program, stick it out, finish it. If it's a 16-week program, do all 16 weeks. And I'd be interested to see how you're doing at the end of following a program. So I gave you a lot of ideas kind of in a shotgun blast, but I think that's pretty good for now, okay? Thank you.